At the age of 12, my life took a dramatic turn when my family relocated from Kenya to Canada. This move opened up a world filled with new opportunities, different cultures, and friendly faces. My father's successful business ensured a comfortable life, making it easier for us to adjust to our new environment. During high school, I met Russell, who would later become my husband. Our relationship had its challenges, but by the time I was 22, we decided to marry. I was overjoyed, dreaming of a life full of love and happiness. However, one obstacle stood in our way: Russell's mother, Doris, who openly opposed our marriage. I couldn't help but feel that her objections were partly due to my Kenyan roots. Doris often made subtle, uncomfortable remarks that made me feel like an outsider. Meanwhile, Russell remained unaffected by the tension. He valued our relationship and saw me for who I was, not where I came from. Despite his mother's disapproval, he always reassured me of his commitment. Our wedding day was emotionally complicated. Although I was excited to marry Russell, Doris's disapproval cast a shadow over the celebration. I focused on our love and tried to block out the negativity. However, in the days that followed, Doris's disdain grew more apparent. She repeatedly made hurtful comments about my culture, which stung deeply. Despite my desire to build a positive relationship with her, it seemed increasingly impossible. Russell tried to mediate, promising to address the issues with his mother. Torn between his love for both Doris and me, he did his best to balance the situation, but the tension persisted. Doris's constant criticisms and probing questions about my background began to take a toll on my mental well-being. Despite these difficulties, Russell and I focused on building our life together, moving into our own home and advancing in our careers. But Doris's continuous disapproval still loomed over us, eventually becoming unbearable. I had always prided myself on my calm demeanor and kindness, but Doris's constant barbs pushed me to my limit. For the first time, I raised my voice in frustration. "Doris, I've had enough of your constant comments. They're exhausting." "Oh, I'm just sharing my opinions. There's no need for you to get defensive," she retorted. "It feels like you're attacking me because of my background. I deserve the same respect as anyone else," I responded. "I'm not trying to upset you, but you seem overly sensitive." "This isn't about sensitivity, it's about respect. I'm your daughter-in-law, and I deserve to be treated with kindness. Maybe if you tried to fit in a little more, I wouldn't have to say these things," she responded. "Fit in? I've been part of this community for years. This is my home too. I shouldn't have to change who I am just to please you. And, just so you know, I never needed your approval to marry your son, nor did I expect it. I know you had other plans for him. That's unfair. We love each other, and that should be enough for you. Maybe if you were from a more traditional background, I could accept it more easily," she sneered. "I don't need your acceptance. I'm proud of my heritage, and I won't let you demean me for it. Your prejudice is your own burden." "Maybe it would have been easier if you had married someone from your own culture," she suggested coldly. "That's beside the point. We're married, and you need to accept that. Your ongoing disapproval is hurting us, and I won't let you destroy our happiness." "I never expected you to speak to me like this. Why are you being so hostile?" she demanded. "Maybe you didn't expect me to stand up for myself. I'm done trying to please you. If this is how you feel, it might be better if we keep our distance," she said. "That suits me just fine," I replied coldly. "I will, and I hope you think about how your actions are affecting your relationship with your son," I said, walking away, my emotions a mix of anger and sadness. Confronting Doris had been tough, but it was something I needed to do. I knew our relationship might be damaged beyond repair, but I felt confident in my decision. I deserved respect, and I wouldn't tolerate any more of her hurtful comments. My focus had to stay on my marriage and building a happy life with Russell, regardless of Doris's opinions. When I shared what had happened with Russell, he surprised me with his unwavering support. He even told his mother that she needed to treat me with respect. However, things took a sharp turn when Doris threatened to disown him, which shocked us both. I could see the pain in Russell's eyes. His mother's willingness to cut him off over supporting his wife was heartbreaking. But it also made us realize something important. We didn't need toxic people in our lives. Even if they were family, we deserved love and respect. And if someone couldn't provide that, they had no place in our world. As painful as it was to witness Doris's actions, It served as a wake-up call for Russell. He began to understand that his mother's negativity was preventing him from experiencing true happiness. It was time to move past the toxicity and build a life with me based on love and understanding. Months passed after Doris cut ties with us. Although Russell was deeply affected by his mother's decision, he still missed her. Despite everything she had said and done, I supported him in finding closure, hoping it would open the door to possible reconciliation. I planned a dinner date at Russell's favorite restaurant, hoping it would bring him some comfort and maybe mark a new chapter for us. When we arrived and I gave my name, the host looked confused and told me my name was on the blacklist. I was shocked. Russell and I had been regulars at this place. Eager to resolve the situation, I asked to speak to the manager. To my surprise, the manager turned out to be none other than Doris. During the time we hadn't seen her, she had taken a job managing the restaurant, Applebee's, our favorite spot. It seemed too calculated to be a coincidence, and I was stunned by the pettiness of the situation. Well, look who we have here. I never thought I'd see the day you two would show up at my restaurant, Doris said, not missing a beat. She informed us that we were no longer welcome. Russell's frustration erupted, and he raised his voice, drawing the attention of other diners. I felt torn, wanting to support him while trying to keep the situation from escalating further. Doris, we didn't come here to start trouble. We just wanted a quiet dinner. I tried to reason. A quiet dinner with you two? I don't think so. It's quite amusing to see you both here, practically begging to be let in after everything that's happened. Doris shot back, her tone dripping with sarcasm. What are you talking about? Mom, we've always loved this place. Now you're saying we're not welcome? Russell asked, stunned. It's simple. When he chose to marry her against my wishes, I had to make a decision. I couldn't let my son make such a mistake. So I decided to protect my business from your poor choices, Doris explained coldly. You're sick. Mom, it's disgusting that you're doing this just to spite us, Russell said, his voice filled with disbelief. Oh, please, Russell, I'm just protecting my reputation. I can't have people like you associating with my business. Doris dismissed him. This is ridiculous. Mom, you're choosing your bigotry over your son, Russell said angrily. I never expected this from you, Russell said, his voice filled with hurt. You're the one who made these choices. Don't try to make me the villain for your decisions, Doris retorted, her words sharp. The whole restaurant was watching, turning the scene into an embarrassing spectacle. It was difficult to face the humiliation of being escorted out of Applebee's, a place we once enjoyed together. Let's just go. Arguing won't change anything, I suggested softly, wanting to avoid further tension. You're right, Janice. It's not worth it, Russell agreed, his face etched with disappointment. And don't even think about coming back. Nobody wants you here, Doris shouted after us, her words dripping with contempt. Outside, we walked in silence down the street. Russell was clearly upset, so I encouraged him to talk about what was on his mind, especially regarding the restaurant. Tell me what you're feeling, Russell. This place meant a lot to you, right? Applebee's was where my dad and I connected. We'd sit by the window, enjoy our meals, and just talk. It was our place, he said, his voice thick with emotion. That sounds incredibly special. I can't believe Doris would use that to hurt you, especially knowing how much those memories with your dad mean to you. It's unfair. She knows how much Applebee's means to us, and yet she used it against us just because she doesn't approve of our marriage. You deserve so much more than this, Russell. It's hard to watch someone try to tear apart what we have. Family should lift each other up, not tear each other down, Russell said, frustration clear on his face. It's tough to understand why she behaves this way, but sometimes people let their prejudices control them. We can't change that, but we can control how we react, I reassured him. You're right, I'm not letting her negativity get to me anymore. What matters is that we have each other. Exactly, we'll handle this together. And by the way, I have something that might lighten the mood, I said, trying to shift the focus. What's that? He asked, his curiosity piqued despite the tension. My dad just bought the entire block on this street, including Applebee's, I revealed. Wait, really? Why didn't you say anything earlier? It just happened. He sealed the deal with the investors recently. and I was still processing it. I wanted to share the news over a celebratory dinner here. That's amazing, Janice. I need to congratulate him, Russell said, genuinely impressed. We'll do that later, but right now, we need to focus on your mom, I said, bringing the conversation back to the issue at hand. My dad is a powerful businessman, and he won't take kindly to how Doris treated us. He's going to handle this, I said with determination, calling my dad to put him on speakerphone so Russell could hear. My dad was upset when I told him what happened at Applebee's. I didn't expect Doris to act like this. Kicking you out of a restaurant? That's too much. I should have checked the details earlier, but I just got the title for this property and hadn't looked into the management yet. Don't worry, I'll fix this. Give me 20 minutes, and I'll be there. Hearing my dad's confidence brought a sense of relief, though I worried about how things would unfold. I knew he could handle it, but I hoped it wouldn't turn into a bigger mess. My dad was someone not to be messed with, especially in business, and he believed in treating customers with fairness and respect. We waited nervously outside Applebee's, trusting my dad would handle it the right way. We didn't know exactly what he would do, but we trusted his judgment. A short while later, my dad arrived, walking with a determined stride. He entered the restaurant and called out for Doris, his voice loud enough for everyone to hear. The entire room went silent, all eyes on him. Doris stepped forward, clearly irritated by the interruption. She probably thought she could dismiss my dad like she had us. But he wasn't someone to be dismissed so easily. He raised an eyebrow and began with feigned concern. Doris, I don't think you're up to date. Were you not informed that I'm the new owner of the 2nd Green Avenue complex? Doris looked stunned, clearly caught off guard. What are you talking about? Who are you? She stammered. My dad couldn't hide his smirk. Well, it's me. I'm the new owner, and in the short time I've been here, I've already received some troubling reports about your management. Doris's face went pale as the reality of the situation sank in. I didn't know that, she muttered, flustered. Well, maybe you should have checked your emails or paid attention to the news, but no need for apologies now, my dad said, a laugh escaping him. It was satisfying to see Doris on the receiving end of the treatment she had dished out. Russell, who had been simmering with anger by my side, stepped forward with conviction. You had no right to treat us the way you did, especially Janice. You've always shown your prejudice. But as the manager of a public establishment, you should know that such behavior is unacceptable. You've violated that, and I don't think you're fit to run this place. Desperate, Doris tried to backtrack. Wait, I'm sorry. I pointed at her. Even if you didn't know he was the owner, you should have treated all customers fairly, without letting personal biases get in the way. Please, let's talk this over privately, Doris pleaded, trying to salvage the situation. There's no need, my dad said loudly, making sure everyone heard. I think everyone here would want to know that the person in charge of Applebee's, who allowed her racism to affect her work, will no longer be part of the staff. The room buzzed with murmurs as people took in what was happening. Doris stood in stunned silence, embarrassed by the consequences of her actions. Russell and I stood back, feeling a wave of relief as the situation was finally being addressed. My dad handled it all with authority, warning her that he'd have security escort her out if she didn't leave on her own. Humiliated, Doris turned and walked out of the restaurant. As she left, the atmosphere in the room lightened. People began clapping and cheering her departure. A deep sense of relief washed over me. Russell and I went over to my dad, giving him a big hug in gratitude. You're the best, Dad, I said, smiling. He chuckled, patting us both on the back. I couldn't just sit by and watch you two be treated like that. My dad excused himself to check on the staff and make arrangements for the new manager. He returned shortly, explaining that he had business matters to take care of, including formalizing Doris's termination and sorting out the new manager's paperwork. All right, my work here is done. You two relax and enjoy your meal, he said, signaling for us to sit down. As we settled into a booth, I reflected on everything that had happened. It was overwhelming, but most of all, I felt grateful for my dad's unwavering support. It was comforting to know that no matter what came our way, we had someone ready to step in and fight for us when needed. Thanks for watching. See you again in the next video. Stay stunned.